Alright, hello everybody, it is I, Granorite, and here we are back with another episode of Let's Play Pokemon Emerald with our Gen 3 type challenge. Flying type, our third flying type team out of 8. Our team is going to be Mantine, Pidgey, Charizard, Spearow, and Butterfree. So as we do in these first episodes, we're going to start off by checking out our Pokemon as they are at level 5 here, reading some Pokemon biologies, and getting up to level 7, making our way to Rustboro. So we have Mantine here, has Water Absorb for its abilities, so it changes water attacks into healing, which is pretty awesome. Really good special defense and special attack and HP. Knows Bubble and Tackle here at level 5. What do we know about Mantine? Mantine is a slow leveling rate Pokemon. Mantine is a large ray-like Pokemon. Its body is dark blue on the overside and has large wing-like fins with a black ring shape marked on top of either fin, and a jagged outline on the front rim at the bottom. Its head has 2 long protrusions resembling horns or antennae, and 2 more black ring shapes on the back. 2 pairs of gills are visible on its pinkish-gray underside, as well as a pair of beady eyes and a small mouth. Its body has a coarse texture. Mantine thrives in open seas where it swims freely, often in schools where they race one another. It can breach out of water and fly 300 feet or 100 meters into the air if it builds up enough speed. In the past, it was often misidentified as a bird Pokemon by observers who saw this behavior. Mantine is sometimes seen with a Remoraid attached to the underside of one of its fins, scavenging for its leftovers and fighting together when it attacked. Mantine has a docile nature and does not mind the Remoraid clinking to its fin. In Alola, many surfers ride waves and travel between the islands on the back of Mantine. This has made it an icon in the region, being featured on souvenir postcards and posters. And our Gen 3 Pokedex information for Mantine: Ruby, Sapphire, and Emerald all say on sunny days, schools of Mantine can be seen elegantly leaping over the sea's waves. This Pokemon is not bothered by the Remoraid that hitches rides. Fire Red says swimming freely in open seas, it may fly out of the water and over waves if it builds up enough speed. And Leaf Green says as it majestically swims, it doesn't care if Remoraid attached to it to scavenge for its leftovers. Next we have a Pidgey, which has Tackle and Sand Attack for its ability or for its moves. Pretty standard stats for early game Pokemon. Has Keen Eye for its ability. So Pidgey will also evolve into Pidgeotto at 18 and Pidgeot at 36. Medium slow leveling rate Pokemon. Pidgey is a small plumped-bodied avian Pokemon. It is primarily brown with a cream-colored face, underside, and flight feathers. On top of its head is a short crest of 3 tufts. The center crest feathers are brown, and the outer 2 tufts are cream-colored. Just under its crest are its narrow eyes, which have white sclera and pupil and black irises. Angular black markings extend from behind its eyes and continue down its cheeks. It has a short stubby beak and feet with 2 toes in the front and 1 in the back. Both its beak and feet are grayish pink. It has a short brown tail made of 3 feathers. Pidgey has an extremely sharp sense of direction and homing instincts. It can travel straight back to its nest regardless of how far away it might have flown. It is a docile Pokemon and prefers to flee from its enemies rather than fight them. Flapping its wings rapidly can whip up dust clouds and create whirlwinds to protect itself and flush out potential prey. Pidgey is common throughout its range and can often be seen in meadows and temperate forests. Ekans and Sneasel are natural predators of Pidgey. In Generation 3, Feather Dance was its signature move, though other Pokemon could still inherit it via breathing. And our Gen 3 Pokedex information for Pidgey: Ruby, Sapphire, and Emerald all say Pidgey has an extremely sharp sense of direction. It is capable of unerringly returning home to its nest, however far it may be removed from its familiar surroundings. Fire Red says does not like to fight. It hides in tall grass and so on, foraging for food such as small bugs. And Leaf Green says a common sight in forests and woods. It flaps its wings at ground level to kick up blinding sand. Next we have Charmander. Has Blaze for its ability. Pretty good stats. It is a starter Pokemon. No Scratch and Growl right now at level 5. Charmander is a medium slow leveling rate Pokemon. Will evolve into Charmeleon at 16 and Charizard at 36. Charmander is a bipedal reptilian Pokemon with a primarily orange body and blue eyes. Its underside from the chest down, and the soles of its feet are cream colored. It has 2 small fangs visible in its upper jaw and 2 smaller fangs in its lower jaw. A fire burns at the tip of its Pokemon's slender tail, which has blazed there since Charmander's birth. The flame can indicate Charmander's health and mood, burning brightly when the Pokemon is strong, and weakly when it is exhausted, wavering when it's happy, and blazing when it is enraged. It is said that Charmander would die if its flame were to go out. However, if the Pokemon is healthy, the flame will continue to burn even if it gets a bit wet, and it is said to steam in the rain. As shown in Pokemon Sleep, Charmander is known to sleep while curled up. Supposedly, Charmander is drawing warmth from the flame on its tail. During quiet nights, the sound of its flame can be heard by listening carefully while Charmander sleeps. Charmander has 4 different sleep styles it sleeps in: crackling sleep, tummy rub sleep, tummy up sleep, and a top belly sleep. Charmander can be found in hot mountainous areas and has recently been seen living in the terrarium of the Blueberry Academy. However, it is found far more often in the ownership of trainers. As shown in Pokemon Snap and New Pokemon Snap, Charmander exhibits pack behavior, calling others of its species if it finds food, and watching the flames on each other's tail to ensure they don't go out. And our Gen 3 Pokedex information for Charmander: Ruby, Sapphire, and Emerald all say the flame that burns at the tip of its tail is an indication of its emotions. The flame wavers when Charmander is enjoying itself. The Pokemon becomes enraged. The flame burns fiercely. Fire Red says, from the time it is born, a flame burns at the tip of its tail. Its life would end if the flame were to go out. And Leaf Green says it has a preference for hot things. When it rains, steam is said to spout from its tail. And next we have Spearow, who knows Peck and Growl, really good attack and speed already. Knows Keen Eye as well for its ability. Medium fast leveling rate Pokemon that will evolve into Fearow at level 20. Spearow is an avian Pokemon that is very small. It has a rough brown plumage on its head and 3 brown tail feathers. It has narrow dark brown eyes with white pupils and a short hooked beak that is light pink. The feathers covering its wings are pinkish red with lighter tips, and it has a beige underside with 2 thin horizontal stripes. It is light pink feet. Its light pink feet have 2 toes in the front and 1 in the back. Black feathers cover its back. Although inept at other aspects of its flying, such as height and distance, Spearow is still capable of flying quickly to protect its territory. However, it must flap its wings at high speeds to stay aloft. Spearow's loud shrieks can be heard over half a mile or 1 kilometer away, and are used to warn others of its kind of danger. In the first episode of Pokemon the series, Spearow is revealed to see in black and white, and will chase its foes in a large flock. Spearow are found naturally in open habitats with warmer climates, many desolate wastelands and fields, where it hunts for insects. Ekans is a natural predator of Spearow, and Spearow preys on sun currents. And our Gen 3 Pokedex information for Spearow: Ruby, Sapphire, and Emerald all say Spearow has a very loud cry that can be heard over half a mile away. If its high creaking cry is heard echoing all around, it is a sign that they are warning each other of danger. Fire Red says it busily flits around here and there. Even if it is frail, it can be a tough foe that uses Mirror Move. And Leaf Green says eats bugs in grassy areas. It has to flap its short wings at high speeds to stay airborne. And last but not least, we have Caterpie that has Shield Dust, which prevents added effects. As we saw in our last playthrough, we had 2 bugs with it. Knows Tackle and String Shot at level 5. Will evolve into Metapod at level 7, and Butterfree at level 10. A medium fast leveling rate Pokemon, Caterpie is an insect Pokemon that resembles a green caterpillar with a yellow underside and a teardrop-shaped tail. Yellow ring-shaped markings down the sides of its segmented body resemble its eyes and are meant to scare off predators. Its most notable characteristic is its bright red antenna, or osmeterium, on its head. Which releases a stench to repel predators. Despite these features and its camouflage in green foliage, Caterpie is often preyed upon by flying-type Pokemon. Its 4 tiny feet are tipped with suction cups, permitting this Pokemon to scale most surfaces with minimal effort. Caterpie is easy to capture and grows quickly, making it ideal for new trainers. As Caterpie grows and develops over time, they will shed their skin many times before finally cocooning themselves in thick silk. It can also spit this silk to entangle foes, as seen in Pokemon the Series episode Ask Kesha's a Pokemon. It has a voracious appetite, driving it to eat 100 leaves daily. It will even eat leaves bigger than itself. According to the 54th chapter of the Pokemon Adventures, its favorite food is the vermilion flower. Caterpie lives in temperate forests and jungles. As shown in Pokemon Sleep, Caterpie is known to sleep occasionally while using string shot. On occasion, it drools out strings instead of saliva. And our Gen 3 Pokedex information for Caterpie, Ruby, Sapphire, and Emerald all say Caterpie has a voracious appetite. It can devour leaves bigger than its body right before your eyes. From its antenna, this Pokemon releases a terrifically strong odor. Fire Red says it is covered with a green skin. When it grows, it sheds the skin, covers itself with silk, and becomes a cocoon. And Leaf Green says its short feet are tipped with suction pads that enable it to tirelessly climb slopes and walls. Alright, after all that, let's get our team up to level 7. Mantine is currently in the first slot. It is looking for HP and special defense. So we want Wurmples and Lotad's. It looks like we're going to get Wurmples, which is fine. No Poochyeenas. There's a Lotad. Getting a little low on HP. We'll go back and heal. One more should do it for Mantine. Alright. Let's go ahead and just move over. We'll do Pidgey next. Pidgey wants HP and physical defense. So we want Wurmples and Seedots. We're probably just going to be finding Wurmples. Seedots are pretty rare here. We also do want one special defense, so if we do find a Lotad, I should have fought that one earlier. We'll take it on. There we go. Because we'll do that double battle later with it. And we wanted to get that multiple of 4 afterwards, so that just takes care of that already for us. Wurmples. Wurmples. Good deal. Alright, Charmander wants speed and special attack. So we're looking for Zigzagoons and Ralts. We have yet to see a Ralts. Okay, well, let's go heal. Excellent. And we learned Ember. Wonderful. Next we have Spearow. Spearow wants physical attack and speed, so we'll take those Poochyenas that we've been dodging, and Zigzagoons. Well, Sheedot. Keep knocking them down, Spearow. Doing good. probably should go heal it. Now we will. And we learned to Leer at level 7. Good deal. Next we have Caterpie. Caterpie won special attack and special defense. So we have Ralts and Lotads. Now we haven't even seen a Ralts yet. I think growled at us like for forever. More Lotads. Alright, let's go heal. Still really surprised we haven't seen one Ralts, even on a Pokemon we don't want it on. Supposed to be a 4% chance to run into him. There we go. And evolution already. Metapod. Update this. Metapod. Done. Ooh, learned Harden. Whoa. There it is. With Shed Skin now. Gets a little boost to defense. What do we know about Metapod? So Metapod is an insect Pokemon that resembles a green chrysalis. Its body is crescent-shaped with several segments making up the lower body. It has two heavy-lidded eyes on the sides of its shell, while the front of its shell features the geometrically shaped portions and projections. The back has 3 pointed protrusions, 2 veering towards the side and 1 in the middle. In certain angles, the back of Metapod's shell resembles a face alongside the eyes on its side, with one of the protrusions resembling a sharply pointed nose, and a tail resembling a sharply pointed chin. Metapod's soft body is protected by a hard outer shell as it undergoes metamorphosis. While this shell is said to be as hard as steel, a sudden powerful impact could cause its liquid innards to pop out, leaving it completely exposed. Metapod generally remains motionless, rebuilding its cells for evolution. If an enemy discovers Metapod, it cannot do anything other than harden its outer shell. Metapod lives in temperate forests and jungles, often in groups. Pick-a-Peck is the natural predator of Metapod. As shown in Pokemon Sleep, Metapod is known to sleep while using the move Harden constantly to protect its innards. It stays still while sleeping to avoid getting attacked by foes. And our Gen 3 Pokedex information, Rupee, Sapphire, and Emerald all say the shell covering this Pokemon's body is as hard as an iron slab. Metapod does not move very much. It stays still because it's preparing its soft innards for evolution inside the hard shell. Fire Red says even though it is encased in a sturdy shell, the body inside is tender. It can't withstand a harsh attack. Leaf Green says this Pokemon is vulnerable to attack while its shell is soft, exposing its weak and tender body. Alright. So onwards we go now to face some trainers. We'll swap Spearow up front to take on this first trainer. Alright, one down. And just keep going here. Easy peasy. Alright, let's swap Ember up, because we're going to be using that a lot more than Scratch. Good burn. It's just going to go down from that. Alright, let's swap Spearow up to start this next fight. Very nice. Okay, let's go to Pidgey for this Shroomish. Come on. Be nice once we learn Gust. Blah, 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 blah. take out the Zigzagoon. Let's send out Metapod here. We're gonna throw it in that double battle later because we need to get it experience anyway, so we can evolve it this episode. Don't care about that. This is just gonna be me beating on this C-Dot until it goes down. Alright, and it's gone. Alright, let's let Spearow take on the Magikarp. And then we'll swap Charmander up to take on this Zigzagoon. Good damage. We take this thing out in 2 hits, really? Wow. And Charmander just rockets up to level 9. Alright, let's let Mantine beat on these Wurmples. Now, we will continue this episode after we get to Spearow until Metapod evolves into Butterfree, so we can get the evolution on screen. And tomorrow's episodes, I don't know if they're going to happen or when they're going to happen. If they do, I've been called in for jury duty tomorrow, and so I'm not sure what the schedule for that's going to be. So just keep an eye out. Good job, Mantine. Alright, let's swap Spearow up for the Poochyena. Probably could have stuck on that one. Easy peasy. Alright, let's swap Pidgey up for the Nkata fights. It's a good thing Leech Life's not going to do much to Pidgey because it's resistant. Gust! There it is. Everything's gonna get much better now. Alright, let's let Charmander again take on this Zigzagoon. Good burn. That'll take it out. Alright, and then this next fight starts with a Lotad. No, we don't want Pidgey to take on the Lotad. We want Metapod to take on the Lotad. Good critical. And then for the Shroomish, we'll go to Pidgey and Gust it. Alright, now time for the double battle. It's nice that we don't have to really work through these fights. Oh, we can take this thing out before it gets that off. C. And then we'll let Spearow take on these final Magikarps. And this one we'll just speed through because it's just Magikarps doing splash. Alright. Now I'm pretty sure no one can learn Bullet Seed. Yeah. So let's get cut. And now let's go get our Butterfree. So we're going to go back to the first route where we were leveling up. Because we can get both of the EVs we'd like there. Still, you know, like to point out, we still hadn't seen a Ralts. We want Ralts and Lotads. Ah, there's one. So we're gonna also get Charmander in on this. Because Charmander also wants special attack. And as rare as it is, we can't just let that be siloed into whoever runs into it. Oh, another one. Wow. gonna take a few more of those to get up to that level 10. But we'll get there eventually. Come on. And there's our final evolution for this episode. And we have 2 evolutions next episode. Goodness gracious. And there's our Butterfree. Compound Eyes for its ability now. Big boost to special attack and special defense. What do we know about Butterfree? So Butterfree is a Lepidopteran insect Pokemon, which resembles a vaguely anthropomorphic butterfly with a purple body. Unlike true insects, it only has 2 body segments and 4 light blue legs. The upper pair of its legs resemble small 3-fingered hands, while the lower pair resemble long digitless feet. Butterfree has 2 black antennae, a light blue snout with 2 fangs underneath, and large red compound eyes. Its 2 pair of wings are white with black venation. 2 oval scales on a butterfly, or a female Butterfree's lower wings are black, but they are white on a male. The wings of Butterfree are coated with poisonous scales that easily fall off continuously as it flies. If inhaled, it results in severe status conditions. Using this powder, it will defend Caterpie from bird Pokemon. This powder also repels water, enabling it to fly and gather honey even in the rain. Butterfree can use its sensitive antenna to detect the odors of blooming flowers 6 miles or 10 kilometers from its nest in search of nectar, which it carries with the hairs of its legs. Sometimes it has territorial disputes with Cutiefly over fields of flowers. It also consumes sap from trees pierced by Heracross, as seen in Pokemon The Series episode of Sap the Ending. Butterfree is found in temperate forests and jungles, but is also observed in the episode Bye Bye Butterfree flying near the ocean as part of its migratory breeding pattern. As shown in Pokemon Sleep, Butterfree is known to sleep while flapping its wings. It tends to accidentally scatter highly toxic dust while sleeping. And our Gen 3 Pokedex information for Butterfree, Ruby, Sapphire, and Emerald all say Butterfree has a superior ability to search for delicious honey from flowers. It can even search out, extract, and carry honey from flowers that are blooming over 6 miles from its nest. Fire Red says the wings are protected by a rain-repellent dust. As a result, this Pokemon can fly about even in rain. And Leaf Green says, in battle, it flaps its wings at great speed to release highly toxic dust into the air. And that is our information on Butterfree, and where we will end this episode for today. So we'll get the team up to level 15, and we will be back tomorrow, hopefully, with more Pokemon. If not, it'll be Friday. So, hope you all enjoyed. We'll see you all next time.